Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss about few more types of input field that we can utilize in order to improve our web page. Okay, so prior to this session, we have already discussed various types of input field that we can use in HTML, and this session is in the continuation of the same, where we are going to see few more ways to utilize the input field. All these fields we are going to talk in terms of forms, but it is not mandatory that you are supposed to use only with forms. You can use outside the forms as well. Okay, fine. So how we are going to proceed for this session? Firstly, I'll walk you through the code. I'll write the code from scratch. We'll explain you each and every line written over there, and then we will see the output to understand the actual purpose as well as the meaning of the syntaxes. Okay, so before we start the session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because these entire sessions of playlists are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be really very easy for you to understand the ongoing topic. Okay, so I hope you will watch those sessions and then you will continue from here, because for now we are just focusing on the other few method, and basic we have already covered, right? Fine. So yeah, I think now we are good to start. So the first thing we are going to talk about is like how we can use. Okay, let's add form first. At the moment, if you see the code, it's just a basic code, right? We have just noted down some comments, one heading, and nothing else, right? So if I save this code and refresh my browser, you will see the output is coming like this: HTML by Tech Sharmit, which is nothing, right? Just a basic thing. As we are going to talk about the HTML form, so let's add at least form. Okay, so let's add form tag. Here I'll declare one button because we would need it for submitting the form. So let's add the button. So here I will write submit button, and the type would be submit. Clear? Fine. So we have just added one button and also assign the action. Like when we click on the submit, where it should go to, it should go to tspgm10.html. Fine. All right. Now let's add one heading prior to this form, just to give you the clarity at the time of output. So here I will write h2 types of input field in HTML forms. Okay, so this is the heading. Now below to this I will write another heading for the field which we are going to use: input field with placeholder in HTML. Now what is this input field with placeholder? Okay, before discussing the actual syntax, let me explain you the requirement. Just assume a scenario where you want to create some input fields on a screen, and you don't want to write unnecessary text with it. That means if you want to accept username from user, and at the same time you don't want to write username on screen, instead of that you wanted that it should come in the field itself. So whenever user plays or start typing something in it, it will removed. Otherwise we will user get the information from the field itself. If not clear, let me show you the output. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create one input field, just normal text input field. So here you can see type I have specified as text, and let's give a name I will put as username. Fine. Now if I save it and refresh my browser, you can see with this field we are not able to say that which type of input we are required here. Yes, so one way is we can keep a label or text something here to show the user that we are, for example, let me show you that also. Username, so this is the one thing, right? Username. So either we can go with this approach, like we can show that yes, for this field we need username. But what will happen if we don't want to add extra text? Okay, so in that case we can utilize the placeholder. Now what advantage comes with placeholder, let me show you. So if I write here placeholder, and let me add the thing like enter your user name. and save it and refresh it. So now you can see the text is coming in this field itself, okay? And this is not a permanent text. Once you click and start typing your username, it will remove. So this is the good thing, right? Because with by using this thing, we are not supposed to write extra text on screen, correct? Because we have already notified the user with the help of placeholder value. So user can simply read this, enter your username. It means we are supposed to put username, so we can put username, and then we can click on submit. It will submit the data to the next page which we have specified under the action type. Okay, so you can see username text is moved. Okay, some of you might be thinking like, what will happen if we submit it blank? Will it share, will it pass this data as a value? No, it will not. Let me show you. So if I click on submit, it will move us to this page, and here you can see username is blank because we have not inserted anything, and that is just a placeholder value, not the actual value. Okay, so this is the advantage of using placeholder with input field. Now we will talk about another type, which is required field. Let me show you how we can use it. So input field with required in HTML. So what it means, let me show you. Let's add one input field first. Here I will write uh, type as text. Okay, and then we will write name as, maybe we can put any name, for example user, city. Okay, let's keep it as city, or email. No, not email, city. Fine. Now just save it and refresh your browser. So you will see that here we have not specified any placeholder, that's why it is coming blank. But the thing is that, suppose I want to take input, or maybe we can add placeholder if you want, but let's keep it separate so that you can easily define the difference between both. Okay, so now what you can see, like suppose I want to fill up the data, but for this field I want to select the data as test, but for this one I don't want to select any data. Let me repeat it. Let's say I want to allow user to skip the username but not the city field. So in that case, right now, like if I click on submit, it is accepting, it is navigating my form to the next page without even showing anything error. Okay, so to make this field as a required field, what we will do, we will add required here. So just simply write here required, then save it and refresh your browser. This time if you try to click on submit, it will show you this notification. Please fill out this field, because this is a required field, and without filling the required field you are not supposed to submit your form. And it is not showing for this one. Why? Because we have not added any required keyword for this one. Okay, so once I put test here and submit, it will accept the data. So the first one is blank, but it is test. Why? Because we have make it mandatory field. Okay, so likewise, now you can think about the form. Suppose we have a form where we want to take email and mobile number for sure from the user. So in that case, what we can do, we can make this field as required field. Okay, so yeah, this is the advantage of using required. Now I'll show you another type which is related to numeric input field. So let me add a heading first. Here I will write input field with min and max attribute. Okay, and under this we will declare the one input field which can hold numeric data. So for that, type would be the number. If you don't know about these basic things, then please check out the previous session. We have already discussed all these things, like what is type, number, what is text, everything. Okay, fine. So here right now, let me give name first, user ID. So right now if I save this and show you the code, you will see that when I click, for example, I selected the value as 50, 501. Okay, and test, and test. Okay, so if I click on submit, it will accept the form and 500 is taken. But suppose you want to fix a value, like you want, like at least there should be value larger than 10 and lesser than 20. So in that case, how we can do, we can utilize the min max attribute. Let me show you how. Just simply write min here, mention it as 10, and max and mention it as 20. So now user is supposed to provide the values between 10 to 20 only. Okay, so let's say if I try to put 1 and click on submit, it will give me, okay, let me fill it first because it goes in a top to bottom approach. Now if I click on submit, it will say value must be greater than or equal to 10. Okay, so what will happen if I provide 15? It will accept that. Okay, but again if I try to insert the value larger than 20, it will give same error, value must be less than or equal to 20. Okay, so this is how we can easily set the minimum and maximum value for our input field. So yeah, I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.